Welcome to the Selling from the Heart podcast on the Salescast Network. You've joined a global movement of sales professionals who are dedicated to being authentic and building trust. We call it Selling from the Heart. Together, we are on a mission to bring sincerity and substance to the sales profession we all love. Get ready to be inspired and equipped as we join our hosts, Larry Levine and Darrell Amy.
Larry and Darrell here, and we're excited to let you know about a new event that will reinvigorate your heart for sales.
The Selling from the Heart experience will be a gathering of like-hearted sales professionals coming to you on April 19th and 20th in Raleigh, North Carolina.
We invite you to join like-hearted sales professionals for an inspirational day that will refresh, refocus, and reignite your passion for selling.
I can't wait. You can learn more and get your tickets at www.sellingfromtheheartexperience.com. That's sellingfromtheheartexperience.com.
We hope to see you there.
Hello and welcome back to the Selling from the Heart podcast. Your co-host, Darrell Amy, here today with Larry Levine. What's going on, Larry?
Just another great day. I am so excited about this podcast that we're going to just get ready to embark on in a second, but it's always great seeing you, by the way.
Oh, this is so fun. Yeah, get ready to get on the energy bus. We got Jon Gordon in the house. We're going to have a great conversation today. It's great to see you as well, Larry, and it's great to see this community of sales professionals from literally all over the world here inside the Selling from the Heart community. And it's just so fun to see the different comments and feedback we get from folks that are reading the book, and some folks like Peter that are reading the Daily Dose.
Yes, I have to give a special shout out. When I got this message that came in, I just about lost it, but it's from Peter Beckingham, and I'm going to leave where he's from, and I'm going to wrap it up as Peter sends me this message, and he goes, Larry goes, I just want to tell you, I look forward so much every day to your daily doses of inspiration. Thank you from my heart. You are a champion and a legend, my man. I'm like, oh, come on, me a legend. And he goes,
stroke Larry's ego.
No, come on.
Come on, man.
And he says, Selling from the Heart has been one of the best books I've ever had the privilege to read in my 36 years in sales management, and sales coaching. Best wishes from an Aussie who lives and works from a tiny little remote village in Thailand.
Wow.
Darrell,
how cool.
That's awesome.
Shout out, Peter. That's awesome. And thank you. We appreciate you. We appreciate everybody all around the world, this community of authentic sales professionals that say, yes, I want to be genuine. I want to be authentic. I want to build trust. That's what we call selling from the heart. And if you are not yet getting the daily dose of inspiration, and who doesn't want a daily dose of information? You drink your coffee every day. You go to the gym every day, at least in January. It's now in February we're recording this. You need a dose of inspiration. And so just go to sellingfromtheheart.net/daily. Or if you're out driving around or walking around, don't text and drive. Pull over and text the word heart to 21,000. That's the word heart to 21,000. Well, Larry, we have got an incredible guest in the studio. I see him backstage in the green room. Jon Gordon. If you don't know who Jon Gordon is, you've been living under a rock. Jon's best-selling books have inspired readers and audiences all over the world. His principles have been put to the test by numerous Fortune 500 companies, professional and college sports teams, school districts, hospitals, nonprofits, and even sales professionals. He's the author of 26 books, including 12 bestsellers and even children's books. And you'll know Jon, the classic, we're here with the right side of that. We got a fumble of the energy bus right here. I love this book. This book itself has sold over 2 million copies. He's been on every TV channel, CNN, CNBC, the Today Show. And get this, Larry, his clients include the LA Dodgers, Southwest Airlines, and the LA Rams. You got to be excited about that.
There we go.
Welcome to the Selling from the Heart podcast. Jon Gordon, it's great to have you here.
Guys, great to be with you. I love selling from the heart. I mean, that's what it's all about. It's about selling from the heart. Love what you do. Such a powerful message. And as you know, more people need to understand this and sell this way and also live this way.
No, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Couldn't agree more.
We're going to have a great conversation here today, Jon. As we get started, you know the question that every guest on the Selling from the Heart podcast answers. And I'm really looking forward to this. What does it mean to Jon Gordon to sell from the heart?
It means what I wrote about in The Carpenter. I'm wearing the shirt, The Carpenter. Someone asked me the other day, are you a carpenter when I was wearing it? No, I'm not a carpenter, but I help people build greatness. And I wrote this book about the main character who's struggling with his business, and he has to learn how to build his business with heart, to sell from the heart in essence. And what it means to me is 3 words. Love is the first word, love. Pavarotti, the famous opera singer, says, everybody wants the audience to love them, but I love the audience.
Yes.
And so he loves the audience. When you are selling from the heart, you're loving who you're selling to. You're loving your customers. You're loving your clients. You're loving your product. And you're here to make a difference in their lives. So it starts with that love that you have for people. You don't see them as a number. You see them as a person. You see them as someone you want to help, someone you want to impact. So it starts with love. The next word is serve. When I think of selling from the heart, I think my job is to serve others, not be served, but to serve others. And you don't have to be great to serve, but you have to serve to be great. And when I talk to salespeople all over the world, when I speak to audiences, when I meet people, the top salespeople, always, they love their clients and they're always looking for ways to serve them. Like they're not serving themselves. How can I serve you? And if I don't have the right fit, if I don't have the right product for you, if I don't have the right gadget for you, whatever it may be, I'm not going to sell it to you because I am here to serve you, not have you serve me to make me money. So there's a difference there of serving. And I learned that from my mom. My mom was a realtor and she was number 1 in her company. And at her funeral, when she died at 59 years old, all these people were coming up to me, all of her clients, telling me how my mom went to their house, would walk their dogs, help them on dates, like set them up with dates and people that she knew. My mom was like the Jewish mom that was always like that Jewish mother. She just saw it as her job to serve her clients and customers. Had all these amazing stories. No wonder she was number 1 in her company because the way she served others, and she served me the same way. The last time I saw her, she made me a sandwich, even though she was tired, even though she was battling cancer. She went into her place after a long walk. She was tired and she made me the sandwich. And that was the last time I saw her fully conscious, fully alive, was when she made me that sandwich. And I didn't think much about the sandwich at the time, but I think about it all the time now because here she was battling cancer and her biggest priority was to serve me and make me a sandwich. So to me, that's selling from the heart, where you're here to serve. And then finally, the last word is care. You truly care about people because you love and you serve. You then show that you care. And I'm convinced that that is the difference between average and greatness. Those who are great care more. The best athletes I work with, they care more about their craft. They care more about their team. They care more about getting better. The best salespeople care more about their clients. They care more about their product. They're passionate. They have purpose. And they're also on a mission. They're not just here to walk through the motions. They're truly on a mission. So to me, love, serve, care. And I always say, don't focus on growing your business. No, focus on loving, serving, and caring, and your business will exponentially grow from there.
Oh, this is so good, yes. Jon. And we're in for a treat. I know we're in for a treat. I want to go back to this love word for just a moment. And I'm a firm believer, if you don't love on your clients, somebody else will. But when we start thinking about love in a sales context or a business context, people kind of go, oh, hold on a minute on here. So I'd just be curious, Jon, love to you in a business or a sales context, what's that mean? Just peel that back just a little bit more.
It's love in action. It's love as a verb. And it's actually just showing them that you're here to serve them and show them that you care about them and finding out ways that are meaningful to them. Like everyone has their own love language, whether it's in business or in our personal lives. My wife has her love language. She's like physical touch. She's connection. She's intimacy. My love language growing up in a Jewish Italian family is food, right? I grew up with a lot of food, a lot of guilt. And so
there you go. I'm right there with you, Jon.
So, I mean, there'd be a lot of guys that, like, wow, your wife's like love language is physical touch. That's amazing for you. I said, but sometimes I just want a pot roast because sometimes I just want. You probably never talked about this before on your podcast.
No.
But we wrote a book called Relationship Grit, my wife and I did, about, how to then love each other and connect with each other. And it's the same principle, obviously, in a more appropriate way in the business sense.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, I know what matters to you. I know what's meaningful to you. So I'm not just going to go do this for everyone. And I'm not going to be the same way for every single client. I'm going to be unique to you and show you that I care about you and I'm here to serve you. So to me, that's what love means. Everybody is looking for love in this world. And what does that mean? You value me.
Mm-hmm.
You recognize me. You see me. You appreciate me. And so to me, it's like love is about letting people know that they matter. They are valued. You recognize them. You appreciate them. And you find various ways to actually do that. So everyone's looking for love. But when you become a source of love, if you're a salesperson, like you want your clients to love you. No, you become a source of love. You love them. Guess what? When you become the source of love, everyone's looking for love. Now they're looking for you.
Oh,
that's good.
Really quick. I got to share this with Jon. I always share with all my clients. At some point in time, I don't know when it's going to happen. The L word's going to come out and I'm going to drop, I love you. And they go, no way. And I go, yes way. And now literally all my clients, we get off of some of our calls. First word that comes out afterwards, I love you.
That's awesome.
And it's just so calming. It's so interesting just to see people's responses when you drop it.
It's different kinds of love. Like it's agape love, right? Because there's romantic love, there's friendship love. I got a good friend, Ed Milet, one of the most successful people on the planet. And he's always like, I love you, brother. I love you. And you know that he loves you and he cares about you. Sean McVay is a coach I work with the Rams. When we talk to each other, we're like, man, I love you, brother. Sean, I love you. I love you, Jon. Thank you so much. Because I've been coaching him since he got the head coaching job with the Rams. Right. So we say we love each other and it's not like in a weird way. It's like, no, they know that I really value, I care about you. I see you and I'm here for you. And I think it's hard for some people because maybe they've never been loved, and I often think about if I wasn't loved, my biological father left when I was a year old. So I never really felt this loving relationship with him. But my stepfather, the New York City police officer, who's Italian, who raised me, he loved me as his own. And because I felt that love, I think it's now easier for me to love others because I received the love from my mom with food and also love. It's easy for me to give to others. So, but because some people haven't experienced it, it doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. The more you actually love them and show you care about them in a very healthy, appropriate way, they are going to receive it when you're selling from the heart, and they are going to be your customer, your customer for life. They will be loyal to you for life because they know you see them more than just a number. They are a person to you.
Oh.
I'm still thinking about this pot roast thing. And I'm also thinking about it must be lunchtime, but I'm thinking about our friend, Michelle Owens, that literally she brings peach cobbler. There's that certain love. And she brings peach cobbler to her clients. I'm just like, that is so beautiful. But as I'm thinking about love, I don't think there's an emotion that has any higher level of energy than love. And as I was going back through the energy bus again this morning, by the way, if you don't have the energy bus, hit pause, grab a copy and grab a couple other books while you're there as well. But I mean, the energy bus, it was just a reminder that at the beginning of this isn't a physical universe. This whole universe, Einstein proved, is made of energy. And you think about the energy level, if you want to bring energy, there's no higher energy than bringing love to the table.
Boom. And
I read the book, Jon.
No, but the fact that you said that, because it's wild to me, because I just finished writing my new book called The One Truth. And the one truth is all about oneness and separateness. And separateness is all about division, separation, ego, which divides, and also fear. Fear divides, and negative thoughts divide. The word anxious literally means divided at its Greek root word. Whoa. So what I'm teaching people in this book and what I've been teaching professional athletes and also salespeople recently in all business leaders is that we can allow this fear to divide us, and that causes a low state of mind. But the key in life and work and to be truly a powerful force in the universe is to actually unite. And how to unite? Love. So love is the answer to the fear that you have. So fear divides and love unites. Love creates connection, oneness, which then leads to power and strength and unity. So now I have this oneness, this power because of connection. And then I have clarity because of the connection. Then I have confidence, and then I have courage. And so that elevates your state of mind. It elevates literally your frequency, because we do live in an energetic universe. I can prove it. Just look at how we see the world and experience the world. It's through vibrations of sound. It's through wavelengths and spectrums and frequencies. Literally, that's how the eyes see the world. It's how the ears hear. It's how we make sense. It's all electrical impulses. So when you understand this, love, as you said, is the highest vibration. It's the highest frequency. And when you're tuned into love and sharing love, what happens is there's actually a connection with you and your customer and client. That's why it is the most powerful way to sell from the heart, because the heart is actually the window and the connection to the spiritual realm. The brain is just the hardware. It's where activation happens. But the heart is actually where we connect to the oneness and experience it. For instance, when you and I are having a really great conversation, like even right now, and we're having a really powerful connection, and you and maybe a client are sitting there, you and a friend are sitting there talking, and you're being vulnerable. When that happens, research from heart math shows there's actually a synchronization that happens, an entrainment that happens from the two hearts, and they start actually synchronizing and beating as one. They literally become one heart, two different people. It's wild. And it shows you the power of what we're talking about here, of the connection and the oneness. And love is what creates that connection. So I just gave science to actually the mission that you guys are on, but that's why what you do is so powerful. And that's why selling from the heart, it's not just like a nice way to sell. It's the way to sell. If you want connection, you want greater relationships, you want more oneness, and also more power and unity. Look at the world, division, separation, and fighting, because we see each other as separate. When you see that other person, you and I are connected, it becomes very powerful. Namaste is a term that I love. It means the spirit in me, bows to the spirit in you. So my spirit sees your spirit, and we know that our spirits are one, powerful. And for those who are Christian, you can actually look at scripture. It says nothing could separate you from the love of God. So it means that you're always connected to that love. And when you're receiving that love, feeling that love, that's when you're your most powerful source of who you are. And when you're sharing that love with others, they receive it. We're talking about power here, not weakness.
This is gold, because I want just to touch on this connection just for a moment, because, especially in the sales world today, it's easy to connect. Quite frankly, it's easy to connect just about to anyone. Just with a couple mouse clicks, you can go, right? We can connect to Jon Gordon if he's willing to accept. But then it's what you do afterwards. And this is the intentionality behind this. This is what I love about what you're saying, Jon, is what would it be like if we actually truly cared? Here at Selling from the Heart, we call it giving a rip, which is the same thing as far as caring, but there's some exclamation points after that one. But what would it be like if we brought true, and I mean true, connection between you and your clients, you and your customers, however you refer to them as? But I love
that you just said connect, like it's easy to connect, because I never thought of it that way. Like it's easy to accept a connection on LinkedIn. Like unless you have too many, like 30,000 now, so I'm not allowed to connect anymore. But it's easy to accept a connection, and then but is that even really a connection?
Nope.
What would we call that? What's another term for that? It's like we're connecting, but it's like meeting someone at a party. You're introducing and getting to meet each other, but do you even have a connection there? Not really. You've met, but you haven't connected.
Yeah, because I would just say until intentionality comes to the forefront, it's just a connection.
Yeah,
we have to be intentional with this, or else it's just a fly-by-night connection.
So good.
And that could be the same between your salespeople and your clients, a sales leader and their salespeople.
So good. Like, because how do we turn a connection into a meaningful relationship? Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, by the way, namaste. I love that. I just announced I'm taking 12 entrepreneurs to Nepal to go to Everest Base Camp this fall. And so we'll be saying that quite a bit on the trail. But that the whole concept of energy and all of this, I reflect back to the first sales team I was on many decades ago, and the whole culture of that sales team, and really the whole company, the way we led the sales team was with fear, right? Mm-hmm. If you don't ... then this consequence is going to happen. If you don't do this, and you see this level of anxiety. We look at the mental health statistics on sales teams, and they're abysmal. They're just really, really bad. I know you've talked a lot about culture in the organizations you work with. What would you say to sales leaders? Like, what do you need to do with your culture? Where do you get started if you're in one of those cultures that is just fear-based, negative, toxic, whatever word you want to put in front of it?
So going back to the one truth that I just wrote about, this is like this new book that I just wrote explains everything that I wrote in my previous book. So like, I didn't even know what I was writing, but it was working. And now I truly understand the power behind it. For instance, a sales team that has a fear-based culture, what do they feel? They feel separate. And as a result of that, they feel divided. So then they feel anxious. And then everyone goes into survival mode to protect themselves rather than helping the team. So there's no unity, there's no connection, and there's no power as a result of that. So the key then is to create a culture of oneness, to create a culture of love, a culture of transparency and authenticity and vulnerability, and where you have deep conversations, where you communicate, you connect. But then there's greater commitment. We're not talking about weakness. The key here is two words: love and accountability. So you want to create a sales culture that has a lot of love, where we're going to love you up. We're going to hold you accountable to the culture, the standards, the principles, the values, and the goals that we have. So when I have these standards and you're not meeting those standards, we're going to talk about it. But guess what? I'm going to encourage you along the way. I'm going to mentor you, guide you, support you. Yes, and love you. But I've got to also tell you when you're not meeting those standards and not putting the effort in. And when you have those kind of conversations, it really alleviates the miscommunication. It alleviates the doubt. Everyone knows where they stand. Everyone knows the expectations, and they know when they're not meeting those expectations. So now they have to look at themselves, not you. And now you don't always have to be micromanaging. You have set the standard, and now you're showing them what success looks like and what it doesn't look like along the way. Great coaches will say, let's watch the tape. This looks great. And guess what? This is not a great play. This is not what we do and how we do it. And the tape don't lie. And guess what? When you have the standards, they don't lie. And so you're able to really point out to that person. If you don't have the standards, it's hard to talk about that.
Yeah.
So I always say, sales leaders, this is what you do. This is what you could expect from me. This is what I'm going to deliver to you. And this is what I expect of you. And when you have those conversations, it's now a love tough. I call it love tough, right? Because you love them, you earn the right to challenge them and push them. But if it's tough love, what's going to happen is they're going to tune you out and you're going to burn them out. That no longer works anymore. Tough love no longer works. It's love tough that works in sales cultures. And again, we got to move from separateness to oneness, because the more we move from oneness to separateness, we actually move from positive to negative. That's why mental health issues are predominant in cultures like that, because we're moving from oneness to separateness. So everyone's moving from a higher frequency to a lower frequency, and more negative thoughts are coming in and more fear is coming in as a result of the separateness. Same thing happens with mental health. Go to every mental health issue. They all report feelings of aloneness, disconnection, isolation, and they retreat from others instead of moving towards others. This is like next level to understand the motives behind each thing. This is what I wrote about in the new book called The One Truth. Comes out in June.
I love it. Oh. Hey, this reminds me, Larry, of our friend Chris Zwiegenthal. And one of the features in the Selling from the Heart podcast, John, is we have our listeners send in just a brief video of what it means to them to sell from the heart. And we've got our good friend Chris we're going to hear from right now. We're going to hear from Chris. He's answering this question. It's really cool. I think it's going to set up the rest of our conversation. So let's hear from Chris, and we'll get back to this after a brief word from our sponsors. Darrell here, and I'm excited to share with you one of the most innovative tools we've come across in a long time. Our partners at Why Institute have developed an amazing platform that helps people discover their why operating system. It's truly amazing. In 10 minutes or less, you can know why you do what you do, how you bring your why to life, and what people can count on from you. It's truly the first step in self-awareness. If you're a coach or a sales leader who believes in helping your people understand who they are so they can be the best version of themselves, you've got to check this out. All you need to do is go to whyinstitute.com and look for the Why certification page. We'll put the link in the show notes. When you reach out to the Why Institute, let them know you heard about it here on Selling from the Heart, and you'll be on your way to helping your team discover what drives them.
This is Chris Weigenthal. What it means to me to sell from the heart. In the past, when representing a particular organization to prospect a potential customer, we were provided with scripted notes on what to specifically say to the customer. This started with what I would call hollow words on how to make a connection, and then move into the pitch to sell. The result in many cases was failure, because I was uncomfortable with what was to be said, and it showed. Selling from the heart changes this approach. You need to start the conversation where the first goal is to form a genuine rapport with a prospect because you want to. You're able to talk to a prospect with a sense of understanding of his or her needs, with a belief in the product that you want to sell, and then honestly provide the prospect with the value-added benefits of your product, even when the price may not be the most competitive. I would sell the product because the customer bought into me and the value that I could add, and not just the product, which of course was good. Able to be one's authentic self gives one far more confidence to work in a competitive market and be a successful sales professional.
I love that. That's just so well said. And that intentionality, the opposite of selling from the heart is selling from a can, right? A canned script. I just made that up. But I mean,
I like that. That's good.
Thank you, Chris. And by the way, if you want to submit a video to us, just text the word video to 21,000. We'd love to feature you on an upcoming episode. That's video to 21,000. There it is, Jon. Selling from the heart or selling from a can?
Hey, but we were having a great conversation prior to the video from Chris. And as I was listening to Jon, to what you were saying, first person who came to mind is Deion Sanders. Look at the culture that guy has developed everywhere he's gone. And one of my favorite sayings is iron fist, velvet glove. Mm-hmm. And he can deliver an iron fist message, but it comes out with a velvet glove, and watch how people respond. And it's just interesting what he's doing in Colorado right now is just absolutely amazing. We'll see how it plays out, but just in a month or so, he's absolutely flipped that culture around.
And great coaches, great leaders, that's what they do. Kevin O'Connell is a friend of mine, a Vikings coach, and look at what he did there. He turned around that culture from Mike Zimmerman, who was all about tough, not much love at all, to a lot of love, a lot of tough, and turn that culture literally within a year.
Yeah.
Deion Sanders will be successful wherever he goes. I love the way you just said it. He's got the iron fist, but the velvet glove. Some people are more likable like that, though. Yeah. Some people can actually have the charisma. They have that ability to be tough and share a lot of love. If you aren't maybe as likable as that, you have to have self-awareness. Then you may need to even give more love, even more love without the iron fist as much. Still have the standards, but you got to understand where you are on the ability to connect with people. Because some people need more accountability because they give too much love and their team walks over them and they don't actually aspire to greatness. So I love them. We have a great family, but no one's pushing themselves to be great and no one's striving to be the best they can be. And you don't want that as part of your culture either. So it really is the combination between the two.
I love it. I love it. As we wrap up, I mean, this whole theme of sports and sales gets pulled into the podcast all the time. And you have had the opportunity to hang out with and coach some of the best minds and performers in sports. What have you learned from the sports profession that you think is super relevant to sales professionals?
I think they go hand in hand because they're so similar in terms of high performers. They're
Mhm.
goal oriented. They have numbers they want to achieve. They also have a mission to be great. Like they truly want to be great at what they do. They're always measuring themselves along the way. They're facing battles and adversity and rejection and
Mhm.
challenges. So we've all been injured in sports, but we've also been injured after a call or a meeting that didn't go well. And you walk away
Yeah.
licking your wounds like, oh, that didn't go well. And,
I'll do that again.
and you wonder, like, do I even want to do this anymore? Do
Yeah.
I want to go back to this? Do I want to actually take this on? Because it was such a beatdown. But then it's like, nope, I'm going to pick myself back up. Grit is the essential element and characteristic for both athletes and also salespeople. So I see so many similarities between the two. And it's probably why I speak at so many sales meetings and also to so many sports teams, because we all need it. I'm not, again, some people are like, John, but I don't like sports. I'm not a sports analogy guy. I can give you the same analogies for music and art, theater, but because sports, you can see in real time whether these principles work or not within the season.
Yep.
You can see whether that person took the advice and how it worked in the next game. Same thing in sales. You can see whether they are actually using the training, using the techniques, using the new principle of, all right, I'm going to bring more heart into it. Does it have an impact on them? And you can see it. And I love, like, when I think about cans, they sell them from the can. You ever go to a hotel and they've been trained really well, but there's no heart behind it, and yet they're doing everything right to give white glove service and act like very professional, and yet there's no sincerity.
Yeah.
The key, I have always said, even the Ritz-Carltons that are supposed to have this great training, I've seen it where the guy was just doing it by the can and there was no heart. So the key is the right way, right? The technical way combined with the heart. But I'll take heart over perfect technicality, or am I saying it right? Every single day.
It's like the heart behind it.
I'll take heart over technique. How about that? I'll take heart over technique any single day. Because guess what? Heart makes you likable because you're loving them, connection, and then guess what? They love you back.
And people sense this. They smell it. They feel it. But conversely, they can also smell bullcrap instantaneously. And it goes back to, right, that Ritz-Carlton example. They could just deliver it with no meaning behind it and nobody senses it. They're just delivering the message.
You can feel it. You can feel it your heart actually feels it. Research shows we can feel someone's feelings up to 5 to 10 feet away via electromagnetic signals. So you can actually feel someone's heart. You can tell whether they're broadcasting love and care or apathy and indifference. My good friend is an NBA coach, and he said, hey, one thing about NBA players and dogs, they have the same characteristic, and they can smell bull, a mile away. But I think most customers are the same way. They can actually tell the same thing.
Yeah.
It's all about the energy. So let me put you on the spot. In addition, when everyone goes to buy the Energy Bus, if you don't have that already, what other of your books would you recommend to a sales professional?
Definitely The Carpenter. So the Energy Bus and The Carpenter. And I came on here wearing the shirt and talking about
repping it.
Plus, I truly felt, it is about selling from the heart. I wrote that book for entrepreneurs, business people, and salespeople, knowing it's like my book in terms of, if you want to build greatness, this is how to do it. And it's not the technical way to sell. I don't teach how to sell. I teach how to convey your passion, your mission, and your energy, and to care about someone. But when you do, your sales are going to go up. And I think it's sort of if I had to combine selling from the heart and The Carpenter, I would say, okay, I got the perfect sales book for you. These two books to read.
There you go, John. Right on.
Wow.
Well, thank you so much. This has been amazing. When does the new book come out? Do you have a date?
The One Truth comes out in June. And
can't wait.
It's master your mindset. It's about living with power. And the last part of it is healing your soul, which is a powerful claim, but I do believe it will help people do that.
Maybe we'll get you back on the book tour. John, thank you so much for sharing time with us today. This has been awesome. And you bring in the energy. We appreciate you, man.
Thanks, John.
Always have to bring the energy.
That's right.
Anyone wants to reach out, jongordon.com, JON Gordon.com, or on Twitter, Instagram at JONGordon11. And I do love interacting with people if they ever want to reach out from there. I'd love to, connect.
We appreciate you, man. This has been awesome.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks,
you.
John.
That's great.
Oh, well, that was
Feeling the love,
so good.
Larry.
I think
Selling from a can or selling from the heart? What are we doing here?
I can't believe you pulled that one off. Selling from the can. Come on, man.
Hey, what we've been talking about today is so spot on. And I'll go all the way back to the beginning with the three words that John used around what does it mean to sell from the heart, and this love and the action around love. This is one of the things I love about the Selling from the Heart community is you're witnessing people putting this in action every day, where it's not just a feeling, it's love as a verb, and they're taking care, they're doing the hard work behind the scenes. And I love it. I think it's amazing what's going on out there. And I'm so thankful for the community around Selling from the Heart.
Yeah, and I just have to expand on the last two words to that was serve and care. Because I've always shared with people, I wasn't the smartest salesperson out there, and I wasn't the most strategic person out there, but nobody was going to out care me. And I'm just so glad that John brought that up. And if that just epitomizes selling from the heart, it's love. Just love your clients, but more importantly, love yourself.
Yeah,
serve and care for yourself, care for your clients.
We're so grateful for everybody. Thank you, Peter, for the shout out earlier. And thank you, Chris, as well, for sharing from your heart. We look forward to hearing from all of you. Love to connect with you online. Love to see you in our insiders group. Meets every Friday. Go to sellingfromtheheart.net/free-pass and get the daily dose of inspiration. If you're not doing that, sellingfromtheheart.net/daily. And Larry, we got so many great things coming up. I can't wait for some of the announcements that are going to be happening here soon. I just want to say the energy at Selling from the Heart is good, and it's good because there's a lot of love around here.
No, there is. And just before you wrap this up, Darrell, I just have an ask, and everybody who follows us knows this. We're on a mission here, and we're on a deep mission and a movement to bring authenticity, integrity, and trust back into the sales profession. Here's my ask, and it's a real simple one. Will you join us? It's that simple.
That's right. So thank you to everybody who's liking, sharing, commenting, sharing the book. All of it means so much to us. We appreciate you and we love you. Until next time, keep being genuine, keep being authentic, keep building trust, and most of all, sell from the heart.